Hi, honorable rectors and my fellow classmates. Before I begin, I'd like to ask you a simple question. Can someone speak fluently but fail to deliver effectively? Two, three. Okay, the answer is yes, of course. Look at the picture, everyone. So this is my student talking to a Japanese student. So she's doing an online exchange student with the Japanese student. So they both speak English very well, but the conversation becomes awkward, not because of the grammar, but because they interpret politeness, gestures, or silence differently. This shows us that learning English is not only about language, it's also about understanding culture. So today, I will discuss building intercultural awareness in EFL learners, why it matters. Throughout this presentation, I will also share how these ideas inspire the development of Logos English course or LEZ. I will tell you about that in the certain slides next, where I serve as the program coordinators. So today, look at my slide. The image shows many people from different kind of backgrounds. So as we know, English is used by millions of people who are not native speakers, right? It has become a global language for education, business, and international communication. Therefore, learning English is no longer about sounding like a native speaker. Instead, it's about communicating effectively with people from different cultural backgrounds. So Claire Gramsci remind us that language and culture are inseparable. Every language reflects the values, beliefs, and communication style of the people we use it. So this is why English teachers should not only teach grammar and vocabulary, but also help students become culturally aware communicators. So what exactly is intercultural awareness or in bahasa Indonesia, kesadaran antar budaya? So on the slide, you may see that there is a picture of a man. He is Michael Brahms. So according to Michael Brahms, intercultural awareness means having the knowledge, attitudes, and skills needed to communicate approximately with people from different cultures. It's not only about memorizing the facts about the cultures of in other countries. It's about developing curiosities, respect, empathy, and the ability to understand the different perspectives. In today's interconnected world, these qualities are just as important as linguistic accuracy. And then, look, there is a question here in the very beginning of the title why it matters in EFL education. A student may speak grammatically correct English, but still experience misunderstanding if they are unfamiliar with cultural differences. For example, my student told me like, Miss, I want to ask about their family so much. My friend from Japan, she said like that. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. You cannot ask that private question to the Japanese people because they are kind of this, like this, and like that. And then we also cannot ask about their job, but we can ask about the value. So it's kind of different kind of thing that the student might not realize that it's about intercultural awareness, but we uh, indirectly teach the student to understand about it. So this intercultural awareness actually helps students become more open-minded, so they know that they don't leave, uh, so they know that the culture that they run, it's not about the only culture, the only normal culture in this world. And then also they become respectful and adaptable. That is very important nowadays because even though we have spread about this kind of values, sometimes happens and respect to the other to the other cultural that the students might do, and also it prepares them to future opportunities such as studying abroad maybe, so that they have experience. Oh, I have got experience in my school that we talk about Japanese people and something like that, so they can share about that. And then participating in international programs and working in multicultural environment. In other words, English education should prepare students not only to speak English but also communicate across culture. So here, there are several educational theories support this idea. So look at the right on my slide. So there are four people here. They are Byron, Gratian, Vygotsky, and Richards. Byron's intercultural communicative competence explain the importance of cultural knowledge and interaction. Meanwhile, Gratian emphasized that meaningful communication in a low anxiety environment supports language acquisition. And the other one, Vygotsky, highlights that learning develops through social interactions and collaboration. And then finally, Richard's communicative language teaching encouraged students to use English for authentic communication rather than memorizing isolated grammar rules. So these theories provide a strong foundation for designing meaningful English learning experiences. Here we go. So I introduce you something special here we that I choose to be a practical case studies to implement the intercultural awareness. So at this point, I'd like to introduce Logos English course. So Logos English course is an English enrichment program designed for grade 7 junior high school students and grade 10 senior and vocational high school students at school that I work, Sekolah Logos Indonesia. Besides teaching English, our vision is to help students become confident communicators who are ready to interact in a global community. As the coordinator of LSD, I've been developing a learning journey that combines classroom instructions with authentic cultural experiences. Students began with regular speaking classes held 3 times a month, followed by a monthly speaking assessment. Beyond the classroom, we are proposing programs such as English speech competition, online English exchange, and on the next year that we're trying to have English cram, cultural events like Halloween and moving discussions, embassy visits, and LSE Mengajar is like Kampus Mengajar that Indonesia has, where students teach basic English to elementary school children. Rather than treating this as a spirit activities, we see them as connected experience that gradually develops students' language skill and intercultural awareness. And here, that one aspect I value most about LEC is that every activity is intentionally connected to educational theory. For example, our online learning exchange encourage authentic intercultural communication, reflecting Byram's framework. And then the movie discussion, for example, invites students to analyze different culture perspective. And then the other one, English Camps, they're very interesting, provides an immersive environment where students use English naturally and supporting captioned theory. And the next one, which align with Vygotsky's sociocultural theory, through our listening agenda, students learn collaboratively by teaching younger learners. This means that every activity has a clear educational purpose rather than simply being an extracurricular event. If this implemented constantly, this program is expected to produce meaningful learning outcomes. Students are expected to become more confident speakers, more culturally aware individuals, and more effective communicators. They will learn to appreciate diversity, collaborate respectfully, and use English with greater confidence in authentic situation. So ultimately, our goal is not only to improve English proficiency, but also to prepare students for meaningful participations in global society. To conclude, I would like to return to my opening question. Can someone still speak English fluently but still struggle to communicate? The answer is still yes, but if intercultural awareness is missing. So language and culture should never be separate in English education. As both as English teacher and the coordinator of Logos English course, I believe that meaningful learning happens when students experience English beyond the classroom and connect it with the real people, real culture, and real communication. That is the vision that we hope to achieve through LEC. And I'd like also to end with this inspiring quote in the end. To learn a language is to have one more window from which to look at the world. Thank you very much for your attention. I will be happy to answer any question you have through my comments below. See you.